little bit of different going on right now. I figured I'd go live because in about 5 minutes or so, AWS reInvent 2018 reserved seating should go live. At least that's what my calendar is telling me, if I have properly interpreted all of the time zones. Always fun. Always a challenge working across time zones. But I thought it'd be cool to go live because it's a bit of an event. There's some pretty cool stuff going on. And you get a chance to get the sessions that you're interested in. So if you haven't already picked out a bunch of sessions, you've got a couple minutes before things start. Now, I've been tweeting out all morning. You've probably noticed, probably already gotten frustrated. Let me see if I can, yeah, perfect. Let me share this out, share Firefox out, make this a little bit bigger. So on the reInvent site, you can see at the top, there is under how to reinvent, you can go to reInvent Guides, and there's a list, there's 10 guides from AWS Heroes. Which is a fantastic set of information. You can see here, Boyan's created a guide around enterprise cloud experience. Good friend Drew Furman did the newbie guide to AWS. So if this is your first ever AWS reInvent, Drew's guide is a fantastic one to get started. So you can see here, you walk down and you can see Drew's, said like, hey, on Monday you should check out Net 201. It's your virtual data center VPC fundamentals. It's basics. Really fantastic sort of way to get things rolling. Let me just see if I can pull up the little camera icon here. But all right. So that's a great way to get through here. And you can see Drew's got suggested sessions for every day of the week, which is great. That's absolutely 100% what you want to be doing. It gets you that really sort of good view. And there's guides from a number of people, from Eric Hammond. He's done an amazing advanced serverless guide. Lynn Langett did one on machine learning. I did my one on security. So if you want a good security view of what's going on, it's a week full of sessions there. Marcia did one on adopting serverless as well as women who inspire. She did two. She's a full stack developer at Rovio. If you don't know Marcia, let me just switch my screen over again. Marcia has a wonderful YouTube channel. You absolutely should check it out. Go to the reInvent site, click on Marcia's YouTube channel. She does a video a week on building in AWS. Great stuff. She's got two tracks here or two guides to highlight adopting serverless as well as women who inspire. Anyway, you still have a couple seconds to flip through and flag these sessions before the initial reservation opens. Now remember, this is just where reserve seating opens up. It's not like an Apple launch where if you're not in on the first 8 minutes, you don't get it. But it is obviously, it's fun to kind of make a thing of it like we are right now. But you get what you might be able to get all the sessions you're interested in. So I've actually already logged into the reInvent session catalog. So if you go to the reInvent site, if you go to learn, actually I think it's on the landing page. If you go right to the landing page, you'll see reserved seating right now. Click on the view the session catalog. If you click on the view the session catalog, you're going to end up here after you log in. And if you click on interests, you'll see that there's going to be, if it responds well, hopefully, now this is the joy as registration is just opening up. If this responds, you'll see actually all the sessions that I've starred. So I went through and I said like, hey, I'm interested in, there we go. Hey, that I'm interested in the following sessions. Please, star these for me so that I can pull them up in a basic like favorites list, right? So we're having a bit of trouble getting online, which is always a fun time. This has happened a couple years in a row where the initial wave of the catalog has either not responded well or not scaled or had some issues, which is why I thought I'd live stream it, because maybe I can help you through it. Maybe not. We'll see as this kind of pops back up. Hit me up on Twitter at MarkNCA. I am, looking bottom corner right now, looking at notifications, trying to manage the stream as it goes. This blank window you're seeing on the live stream right now is not a good sign. I know the folks from the reInvent team are right on top of this. They are going to be making sure that any issues are addressed immediately. So, there was a bit of a flash because I'm trying to reload it. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to stop and do a full reload. All right, go. I'll check Twitter. Good chance to check Twitter while this is happening. In addition to those hero guides, so we showed the hero guides, fantastic ones. This is Drew's newbie guide. There is the list of these reInvent guides. There's also preparing for reInvent. Now the team has made this great pre-invent checklist. So by now you've already booked your hotel. That's absolutely critical. You've started to upload your photo badge. Favorited your sessions. This is where we are right now. We're reserving our sessions, or at least attempting to reserve our sessions. Let's keep checking this tab while it's loaded. Okay, great. So we're loaded. We'll see here. These are all the ones that I have flagged that I'm interested in. Well, now that I've got the ability, I've scheduled them, now I have the ability to reserve a seat. So if I want a seat in Serverless Industry 4.0, AI, Drive for Business Insights, I can just click here to reserve a session, a seat in that session. Dev 338, I'm super interested in seeing how to set up that, the latest in setting that up. It's Thursday at 4 o'clock. I'm going to click this plus button right here. I'm going to reserve my seat. Gives you the update right away. So this is a builder session, very limited space in the builder sessions because they're a different type of session. Very, very cool as to what they are. A builder session, let me pull up the definition in the background while I'm waiting here. But this is the deal. So I managed to get a seat. If I hadn't, I would have gotten a notification that I could have put it onto the waitlist. So let me just keep going here. I absolutely want to see this one as long as it doesn't conflict. Now you'll notice one of the things, if I book this, it should let me. It's a chalk talk, but just barely. So here's a great example. You need to be aware of this. I just booked a seat in the Thursday 4 to 5 in the Aria. I'm trying to book something that's 2:30 to 3:30 in a different hotel, in the Venetian. Half an hour is not enough time to safely get there. So it's advising me against it. I can say, you know what, I still want it, but it's advising me against it just to give me a heads up. It's giving me some alternatives. Build a serverless Space Invaders game. That sounds super cool. I could try that instead. But this is a really nice feature this year in the catalog, is to give you this heads up. So I'm going to actually book an alternate session, because the one I wanted isn't going to allow me to get there because of that conflict. So let's see if I can flag this one. I want to reserve a seat here. So I'm getting into some of these ones. And a lot of these are chalk talks. Adrian's talk, let's see. This is a long shot. This one's by Adrian Cockcroft. We'll see if I can get in. I did. Fantastic. So we saw that conflict right now where you'd see, hey, your scheduling conflict, that's not a good thing you really want to adjust, which is cool. That's excellent that there's that option this year. You will also see another one. So you see here, I can't even book it. I have a conflicted session. So I've already booked something in this time slot or overlapping with this time slot. Now this conflict actually counts for waitlist as well, and now we haven't seen anything pop up with the waitlist, but the waitlist is when a session is full. So if I try to book in something with a session, it will say, hey, you know what, you can use the waitlist instead. So I can't do that one. Let's see if I can grab Lambda security team. This one should be conflict as well. You can see I got a bunch of the stuff here that I put in my serverless, or not my serverless, sorry, I was thinking serverless because I was reading Eric Hammond's phenomenal guide, hero guide for, I keep going back to this one. The Eric Hammond did a hero guide on advanced serverless. I've been doing serverless for a long time, so that one was more interesting. If you're starting with serverless, you might want to check out Marcia's. She's got a great map for getting the lay of the land. Eric's is a lot more deeper level stuff. So I flagged a bunch of my security ones in here. I was interested to make sure I could build out the schedule for you guys, but I'm interested in them too, right? So here's AWS I Choose You. It's Pokemon. How can you not like a Pokemon session? Let's see if I can get into that. I can. This is great. I don't think I've booked into this yet, but it's a conflict. See, the problem is there's so much great content. I was interested in so many different things that it's really difficult to snag the seats, not because the room sizes aren't set up great. It seems like AWS has done a great job at making sure the room sizes are where they should be. The problem is that I've got too many things that are sitting in the same time slot. So this is a great time to remind everybody that the talks are all available afterwards. So after reInvent finishes, AWS does a fantastic job within a couple weeks of getting your sessions up on YouTube. So if you go to the AWS YouTube channel, and I'll show you that in a second, you can see all the talks from reInvent. So let's just make sure that I get what I need to while I'm here. So here's an example. Unfortunately, this Chalk Talk is full on Monday at 3:15. I can add myself to the waitlist. So here's the example I was hoping for. Well, not hoping. I hoped I got all the sessions I wanted. But you'll see, waitlisted. I may be assigned a reserved seat if one becomes available. That's great. So if somebody drops out or if they change this to a larger session, I'll be able to get in automatically. So be sure to check the session schedule for any repeats of this session. In order to search for repeats, type the session ID. That's the ARC204 at the top of the page. So you can find an alternative if you want. But right now, I'm on the wait list for this one, so they'll automatically give me a spot if one opens up. You'll notice I'll make a shameless plug right now for myself. I am already in this session. At least I better be in this session because I'm giving this session. Analytics 335 is a session that I'm giving. Yes, it's S for sponsored, in case you're wondering. Sponsored in this case by Trend Micro, my employer. But if you guys have ever seen me talk, hopefully you have. Hopefully it was useful. I never talk about product. I never do sales pitches. It's purely educational. Leverages a whole bunch of AWS services like S3, Athena, Lambda. I might sneak some SageMaker in there for you to give you an automatic feedback loop on your security data. So if you're interested in security analytics and have some space open on Tuesday, this one might be of interest to you. I would appreciate the support as always. So these sessions are starting to fill up. You notice I've got some things in there, but let's go through that example. The architecture 204. It's already a -R. I know they've repeated this session because I signed up for the -R and I got waitlisted. So what I want to do is I want to go to the top. I want to go to the event catalog. And it was ARC 204. So if this responds, I'll write that down before I forget it, because I guarantee I'm going to forget ARC 204. We're going to look for a different session that's not conflicted. So as this is popping up, I'm going to give you another shameless plug to help you out. Over at read.acloudguru or acloud.guru, you are going to see the ultimate guide to AWS reInvent. This is something, I'm going to tweet this out actually right now. This is a blog post that I write every year. This is the 2018 version. The idea here is to lay out all the other things that are going on. I'm just tweeting it out. AWS Cloud. This is why I don't do comments and live typing a lot of the time on my streams, because I find it distracting. So I just tweeted the link out here. Hit me up on Twitter at MarkNCA. This guide, Ultimate Guide to AWS reInvent, is designed to help you make sense of all of your options. So you can see here in the index, we've got things we've already called out as far as the pre-event checklist. We saw that. The hero guides here at the bottom. And then all the other things that are going on. Important to know the code of conduct for reInvent. Basically golden rule, treat others how you want to be treated. But read through it in full. It's well worded. It's well worth our time to make sure we have an inclusive and welcoming community. But also I have tips around registration, on where to stay, the campus. This is huge this year, 7 different event properties, about the party, boot camps, all this kind of stuff. And I keep updating this as it goes. So please, by all means, check this out. Give it a clap in Medium if you like it. Definitely bookmark it to keep coming back to it, because this continues to update right up to the week of reInvent, because there's so much going on. So I write that and try to help everybody understand and get the most out of this show. All right, so we go back to the to the event catalog, and I'm looking for ARC 204. That was it. ARC 204 I got waitlisted for. So here's the one I'm waitlisted. Hey, there's another repeat. Let's see this one. It's also waitlisting. Okay, so in this case, I couldn't get in, but that's how you do it. If you got waitlisted for something, do a quick search at the top. See if there's another different time when you can absolutely jump in on that reserve seating to make sure that you get a spot, right? And if not, waitlist, because this year the waitlist is automatically going to be pulling people off the waitlist as seats open up. First come, first serve for everything as far as I understand. Actually, I was on a chat with Eric Hammond, again, one of the reInvent heroes who has written this phenomenal guide in advanced serverless. Can't stress that enough, how great all of these guides are. Really nice to see the hero community making a contribution, and AWS giving us a platform to help do that. But yeah, so Eric was on the Slack earlier when we were chatting. He mentioned a good thing that I slipped my mind again, was that there is a certain amount of space that's reserved for walk-up. I'm not sure on the exact number. We'll have to tag that in the from the AWS folks. But reserve your seat if you can. Get waitlisted. Absolutely, that's the best way to get a seat. But there's still a slim chance that you could do walk-up. Now, that being said, and this was part of the discussion, Eric raised a valid point. I've called it out in my guide. I've called it out on the blog post that you saw on read.acloud.guru, was that you don't want to book up your time with all sessions. This is a conference where there's 50,000 builders in one place. You want to give yourself an opportunity to go meet people. You want to give yourself an opportunity to just soak in what you've learned, and to really enjoy the experience of being there during the week. There's a ton of great stuff. You want to be a part of that, right? So here is, actually, I'm just going to flag another session while we talk. This is always fun. As I'm doing this, I need to make sure that I get some of my choices, because this year I'm actually going to be able to see some talks, which hasn't happened in a really, really long time. So you'll notice here at the top, the Tatanka Challenge. I was speaking to Jill during our session around AWS ReInvent, how to reinvent. So you can see here, episode 5, Jill and Annie, we were talking about a number of things. And one of the things that came up was the wing challenge. So you can reserve a seat in the wing challenge. Now, I am not going to reserve a seat simply because I have a ridiculous amount of food allergies and probably can't eat the wings. That being said, I would very much like to see people, and I can't eat enough celery to actually justify being on the wing challenge. So they are trying to set this year a new Guinness Book of World Records for largest wing eating competition. Now, this is part of Midnight Madness, which is actually not starting at midnight this year. Thankfully, I am far too old to do anything at midnight anymore. But you can see here, Sunday, November 25th. Make sure you are in town in time for this. 10 p.m. this kicks off this year. Midnight Madness is at the Venetian at 10 p.m. Why is that important? The Wing Challenge starts in there. You'll see it's 9:30 to midnight. They're also trying to set the world record for the largest air drum. Phil Collins, in the Air Tonight, I think is the song. It's some sort of Phil Collins song. Air drumming, world record. Wing world record, and then there's another world record that I can't remember. If you want to know what that world record is, check out episode 5 of How to Reinvent. Also, check out all the rest of the episodes of How to Reinvent. Jill and Annie have been doing a phenomenal job giving people all the info they need to know about AWS reInvent in these really great shows. On the episode 5, I talked about the heroes, the hero guides. Jeff Barr came on and talked about his ridiculously jam-packed week and made some recommendations. Pretty much all of us on that episode 5 have been to most of the reinvents, if not all of the reinvents. So trying to offer some tried and true tips and tricks for you. But very important, if you do want to participate in the Wing Challenge, make sure you're in there. There are also some other hackathons. I think that's how we spell hackathon. Yes, so hackathons this year are reserved seating as well. So if you want to get a seat in the hackathon, jump in right now. So there's still some seating. As we're looking at this, there is still some seating available in the hackathons. Now, you notice I wasn't available because I have a conflict. for one of them in the session 2 here, there's a conflict that I can't book in. That is going to be consistent. You can't double book yourself. So you have to pick one thing, and that includes waitlist. Waitlist counts for your timing. But if you want to get in on game day, I strongly recommend you get in on the game day. Game days are fantastic. Same with the Hack for Social Good and the Security Jam. Now, disclaimer, Trend Micro normally supports that. I'm not sure if we are this year, but we helped set that up and kick it off. So take that with a grain of salt, even though watching from my streams, watching my social content, I don't support and promote anything I don't believe in. The Security Jam, last year it was AWS, Trend, and Splunk, and the idea was there was 10 challenges that you had to tackle as a team, focused around security, and you had to solve them with your team. Fastest with the most points won. Really great hands-on thing. Fantastic way to spend the day. There are some seats available in that on the Thursday, but the game days, the AWS game days, Hack 01 game day and edition 2, it's the same thing repeated. If you can get in and if you can spend half a day in one thing, that is what you want to be doing. Game days are an amazing experience. Super, super cool. Tons of energy. Basically, you deploy, maintain, and scale this app out as other people from AWS, the organizers, are just throwing problem after problem after problem at you. Challenges, trying to take it down. So that's in the event catalog. That's how you book your spot in there. One of the things that is not booked through the event catalog, if there's still room through your normal registration process, that's where you're going to find the run, the 4K, the 8K run. Strongly recommend you join in that. I got to duck, dodge, and what to see. Get around my webcam so that I can see that. There you go. There's the 4K and the 8K run. Girls Who Code is the charity. All the proceeds go to that, which is fantastic. So even if you're not going to make the run because it is early, now it's on the Tuesday, so hey, you shouldn't have any excuses. It's not after replay or anything. But even if you're not considering running, please consider making a donation to Girls Who Code. It is a fantastic charity. They do so much great work to increase and promote women in computer science. As you well know, we have a massive, massive problem when it comes to diversity and especially gender diversity. So anything that we can do to promote that, to close that gap, is really, really important. The run is a good way to make sure that you're up. Always key. If you've flown in from the East Coast, a 6 a.m. run is not bad, but it's also a great way to make sure that you switch over to time zones and start your day energized, right? Go for a great 4K or the 8K, then get rehydrate, wait a little bit, and then get a nice light breakfast, big pile of fruit, some fresh OJ, and you're going to tackle Tuesday. Fantastic, tons of energy. Plenty of energy and plenty of time to actually still come hit my talk, because I'm going to be doing the 4K, doing the exactly that, getting cleaned up, getting breakfast, and then giving my talk at 9:15, I think, 9:15 or 9:30, somewhere in there. So that is it for the catalog. This is open. It's going to stay open from now till reInvent. Obviously, as you go, you're going to see less and less availability for seats as more and more people get on and lock in what they want. Now, if you've been browsing a session catalog, you're already familiar with this, but just a quick recap or a quick heads up for everybody who isn't there. If you want to filter, if you're not sure what you're looking for, if the hero guides aren't helping you as much as you'd like, on the left-hand side here, you'll see session type, you'll see days, you'll see topics, session levels important. These are all to help filter out to find the talk that you want. And obviously there's a search bar at the top where you can type in whatever you need. But the session levels, AWS has always done this, continues to do this, not just for reInvent, but for the summits as well. Level 200 is your intro, 300 is advanced, 400 is expert. Expect a session in level 400 to be primarily code, a lot of hands-on or a lot of demos. It is somebody, an expert, who is doing a deep dive, explaining the technical nuances and showing you how it's done. There's a fantastic sessions. You're going to get some of that at 300, but a lot more concept and sort of theory. And then 200 is a lot more theory with some real basics, right? So in 200, you're going to see people always using the web management interfaces, so logging into the AWS web console, versus a 400 is always going to be API or CLI kind of thing. every once in a while you'll see one use the web interface. So yeah, great way to kind of filter to find out what you need, what you want. They've got even by job role and venue, though I wouldn't worry about those as much. I strongly recommend that you don't worry about venue hopping. The catalog, as we saw earlier, is going to pop up and say, hey, you don't have enough time. The shuttles are going from point to point this year as opposed to having routes, so you can get from any hotel to any other hotel, or you can walk. And now I say that A, for health and fitness, it's great to walk, but also Vegas has a really deceiving way of not letting you see sunlight, especially if you're there for a week. It's really easy to go the entire time without actually seeing the light of day. So walking between venues is a great way to make sure that you actually go outside. So that's about it. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Thank you for sticking with me and helping me book some sessions. I really appreciate that. If you have any questions, hit me up online as always, at me at markensca, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Good luck.